Welcome to today's edition of 3 Minute Halacha. Next Shabbat, we will read Parashat Zachor, the section in the Torah which describes the tragedy and the horror of Amalek, the nation who cooled us off, who showed that despite the miracles of the Exodus, that Jewish blood was cheap and that those who were stragglers could be murdered in the most horrific of fashions. The Torah commands us to not only remember Amalek, to never forget their nefarious deeds, and at the very same time to eradicate them from the earth. Every year, the Shabbat before Purim, we remember them so that we'll never forget. However, this year, during a year of COVID, there are additional challenges to Parashat Zachor. For those who are coming to Shul, we will hear it as we do every year. However, for those who are not leaving their homes, either because, God forbid, they are sick or because they're extraordinarily careful, what should they do in a year such as this? The first thing they should do is on the Shabbat of Parashat Zachor, they should read the portion from Parashat Kitetse, the section which we will read in Shul. If they can do it with the trup, the Ramah suggests that that is the ideal way, even if they do it from a chumash according to the Kaf HaChaim. But in addition to that, they should also do their best to be in shul when we will read Parashat Kitetse, please God, at the end of this pandemic, later this summer, and hear the very same words we will read on Shabbat Zachor, read as part of the weekly Parshat HaShavua, having it in mind that it will fulfill their obligation of Zechirat Amalek, of remembering Amalek. Two other options are available. The second is if they can make it to Shul for the morning of Purim, to listen to the reading in the morning of Purim from Parashat Beshalach, which, according to the Magen Avraham, is another way to fulfill our obligation to remember Amalek. And the third is also that if there is no other option available, to also listen to the reading during the week of Bishalach on the morning of Purim, or if there is a special reading of Parshat Zachor, to listen to it by phone or on Zoom. In this way, according to the position of Rav Moshe Feinstein, it is permitted to be Yotze, one is permitted to fulfill their obligation through the technology of a telephone or of Zoom. And the person would then fulfill in a number of ways. Reading it on the Shabbat from a Chumash, ideally with the trup, listening to it via Zoom or a phone call when it is read on Purim morning, and finally doing everything possible to also make it to Shul during the summer after the ravages of this pandemic will be over or will have subsided enough that it's safe for people to gather, and then to listen and have in mind that they are Yotze, the mitzvah. In a normal year, these additional precautions or options are not taken, but this year is not a normal year, and we need to be lenient for those who are exceptionally careful and not leaving their homes at all. May next year be a year of full celebration and full joy where we are all together again.